Hey there, let's get into the video. First up on my list we have, okay, wait, I have a confession, these games are not Switch exclusives. But I did experience them first on Switch and came away with a positive experience, thankful that they were available on the Switch platform. I'll list where else they're available and discuss why I like or dislike them for Switch specifically. I think they're all a bit obscure and I wish they'd be talked about more. The first two are probably more widely known, but I really hope my number one pick is one that surprises you. And if you've played all of these because you're weird like me, leave a comment and I'll give you one of my extra shiny Pokemon, I guess? Anyway, here are my top 3 underrated games on Switch. Up first, I want to talk about The Stillness of the Wind, a 2019 farming simulation game by Koyan Cardenas. This game was made in Unity and is available on Windows as well as Nintendo Switch. You play as Talma, an elderly goat farmer who receives letters from her family whenever the traveling merchant comes by. Between waiting for letters, you care for plants, chickens, whose eggs you can sell, and goats, whose milk you can use to make cheese and then sell. You need to navigate managing your resources meaningfully because your farm will not blossom into anything near the verdant utopias attainable in many other farming sims. It is a small, slow game, and the changes that accompany growing older make it progressively more difficult to achieve all that you'd like to do before the sun sets, after which point it's virtually impossible to complete any other task given how dark it becomes. It comes third on my list because I've had some issues with gameplay while playing on Switch, and I'm telling you Mario Party Tug of War has nothing on stirring milk in this game, but the storytelling is absolutely beautiful. The game makes it purposely challenging to try to do things perfectly, and even if you manage your resources well, things can go awry, not only on your farm but in your personal life as well, no matter the level of control you try to exercise over the world around you. The letters are moving and become progressively more impactful as time goes on, and even the less serious text in the game evokes so much feeling. I loved comparing the merchant's magical descriptions of allegedly rare items to Talma's underwhelmed but still somehow tender reactions. You could interpret these purchases as being falsely advertised, or maybe there's faded magic even in ordinary things. I go back and forth on decisions that I'll ultimately never have answers to. The gameplay is quiet and slow to the point of being painstaking, which adds to the realism, even when things feel far away and unchangeable, of experiencing life as an elderly woman alone on a family farm. The creator, Koyan Cardenas, is a solo developer and has also used the names Memory of God and Lambic Studios for these works. Memory of God previously released a game called Where the Goats Are for macOS and Windows, and The Stillness of the Wind is a follow-up to that game. But The Stillness of the Wind is their first commercial release. I definitely need to check out Where the Goats Are, especially since it's a name your price game. This feels like a sharp segue in terms of tone, but farming, crops, plants, bam, we're here. Coming in at number 2 is one of the first games I beat this year. He's a dad, he's a radish, he's Dadish! I fucking love Dadish! Dadish came out in October 2020 and Dadish 2 came out in February of this year. It's a super accessible platformer with bright, fun graphics, and for $10 it's not a bad deal at all, but I bought it on sale for $2. I pretty much immediately dove into it after beating 3 games in something like a week. SpongeBob Super Sponge for PS1, Super Mario Galaxy for either the second or third time, and finally getting the Platinum Trophy for Heavy Rain, and I was really seeking out another quick game to add to the list to give me some semblance of accomplishment. My friends love playing it, and with buttons only for jumping and directions, it's easy for anyone to pick up. The puzzles aren't too complicated, but the timing on some levels will probably take a few times to get right. The dialogue is adorably chaotic, and the sound effects and music are all really great. Do I really need to sell you that much on this guy? Come on, look at how cute he is. This is by far my number 1 underrated game on Switch. It's available in the Switch eShop for $8, but I bought it on sale for 99 cents. Honestly though, I've gotten kind of an absurd amount of both playtime and joy out of this incredibly simple game that even if I had paid $8, I would not be mad at all. You play as a character represented as an ornament that swings left and right as controlled by the player, who is tormented by nightmares of their greatest fears. To overcome this fear, you must open your character's eyes 3 times to wake them up from the nightmare. Once you defeat the first 3 characters' boss by waking them all up 3 times, you move on to the next nightmare boss, who plagues 3 new characters. This pattern continues on for all 18 characters. I see it listed as an action game, but I'd probably be more inclined to think of it as a runner game, even if it's level-based. The graphics are simple, and the stages have layouts that are randomly selected. Everyone has different preferences for which layout they find them most comfortable to navigate, but there are definitely some that are objectively simpler to traverse. It's also available as a mobile app, and that version is free, but includes in-app purchases for unlimited lives, getting rid of ads, and things that you can unlock with normal gameplay, like gems and special costumes. I think playing on a big screen with a joystick is more fun, as long as you don't have Joy-Con drift at least. Let me tell you, that made my life hell trying to get through this. And even though the graphics aren't going to blow anyone away, they fit the aesthetic, and the environmental elements all serve their purpose as a spooky obstacle course. Each one is themed for the nightmare it's set within, and I always like details like that, even when the design is simple. Since in the levels you only move left and right and press the A button occasionally for power-ups, the gameplay is very simple, which makes it great as an example of a mechanically accessible game. Because of that, I love pulling up r.i.p. when I'm hanging out with a group of friends. It's simple enough that everyone can continue conversing while one person takes over the controls, but intense enough that the room goes quiet when someone approaches a typical breaking point. All this being said, I haven't even mentioned why I love the premise of this game. I love the concept of tying three seemingly random characters together through their mutual fear. I think the symbolism behind that idea is so meaningful, and it's not really presented in any sort of overt way, which makes it more touching to piece together. No pun intended. A surfer, a drunk pirate, and a sea captain. Each character, as a trope in popular media, is so different from the other two, and yet they are all united not only by their love, but also their fear of the ocean. I just think that's so cool. Plus, most of the characters are named after some pop culture icon. More often than not, they made me laugh quietly to myself. So, there's my list. Some of my friends have had mixed feelings on the games when I've told them about them, but they've all impacted me in ways that left me feeling thankful. Whether they were cute and entertaining, engaging and fun for social play, or beautiful and moving, I'm a fan of all of them. If you decide to check them out, I'd love to know what you think. Thanks so much for watching!